Audio Jungle.
Hey guys, so I just had the baby yesterday, and if you're about to have a baby, maybe be cautious watching this. A lot happened, but we are happy and healthy. But the experience was crazy. I am not going to share everything that happened here while I'm at the hospital. I'm going to wait until I get home, which should be within the next few days. But stay tuned. It gets crazy. It is way different than the vaginal delivery that I had. And for me, it was not as positive of an experience. But so many people say they'd rather have a C-section. Not me. But stay tuned and we'll see. Alright, so I'm ready to share my C-section story. We have been home for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and she is over 2 weeks old now. So I'm very tired, so if this sounds crazy or doesn't make sense, whatever. But so we went to the hospital. It was a scheduled C-section. We were there 2 hours before the actual procedure was about to start, and then they're doing IVs. I'm in my gown. He's in scrubs, ready to go into the OR. And 10 minutes before we were supposed to go into the OR to get the procedure done, the C-section, they're like, oh, an emergency C-section came in, so it's gonna be about an hour. And I was like, okay, irritated, but I'm I've already had all of this go through my mind so many times that I'm exhausted at this point, and I'm just ready for it to happen. So I'm okay. So they're throughout the hour checking in, but then at the end they're okay, we're about to go. We need to push the rest of your IVs. You need to drink this anti-acid drink because when you're laying flat, the heartburn or whatever. Then literally 2 minutes before we're about to go, they're oh, the doctor had to leave really quick. It's gonna be pushed another hour and a half. And I'm okay. Irritated, but there's nothing I can do, obviously. So then about 45 minutes after they came and said that, they're okay, we're really ready. The doctor's on his way back, blah, blah, blah. So we're walking to the OR. He has to sit in this pre-OR room until they're finished with my spinal. So they walk me in there. I get my spinal done. They lay me down. And there's a bunch of people walking in and out and looking at the door where's he type thing. The doctors are in there. They're at my stomach. They haven't started anything, but then he walks in kind of fast, and they're literally cutting at that point, as soon as he's right next to me. So then later he had told me they'd forgot about him. I'm oh great, because I was literally about to start freaking out, where is he? But so they start cutting it, and I can feel everything. And I told my significant other, I told the anesthesiologist was not even gonna get into that, but so I'm feeling pain the entire time. Not to mention I can see everything in the surgical light thing above me, which I kind of wanted to see, but feeling the pain and then being yeah, that's what's happening in the light thing, I was just this was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Worse than labor with my other child. This was horrible. And she came out, it wasn't just the pressure and everything I felt everything. So she came out, and they're oh, do you want to hold her? I'm my chest is killing me, and I feel everything, and I'm shaking. I'm in so much pain. So then he's holding her, they're checking her, blah, 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 everything's good. So then finally they're done, but I'm literally feeling everything. And then They bring us to the recovery room, which you have to stay in for at least an hour. And I'm like shaking, like I can't control anything. I can't hold her because I'm like literally in so much pain. And so then the nurse just comes and puts something in my IV. And I told them before everything started, like as soon as I got there, like I get nauseous easily. And don't give me any like strong pain medicines because like I'm not used to any of that, and it really messes with me. Like it gives me anxiety and makes me freak out. And I didn't even know that that was what she was giving me, but as soon as she did it, the room started spinning. I was like holding on to her. I was like, what did you just give me? And she was, whatever it was called. And she's like, I know, I'm sorry, but you're shaking so bad. I had to give you something. Just close your eyes, blah, blah, blah. So to me, it felt probably like 5 minutes later, but it's probably like 25 to 30. That I finally was like, okay. And I held her and I felt better. And then, so we were both good. Went to the room that we were staying in until we left. And everything was pretty smooth from there. Nothing was wrong with her. Nothing was wrong with me. I did start walking that same night, which they recommend, but I was like, I'm getting out of here. Like, I don't want to stay here any longer than I need to, even though all my family and everybody was like, you just need to stay there as long as you can just to get some rest, just because, like, we have 4 other kids, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I'm getting out of here. So I started walking, doing good, really just walking ever since. So, yeah. I feel like the recovery was easy. I don't know if it's because I felt so much pain during the operation, but that was the craziest, that was the most painful. I can't even explain it. It was just like, I hope nobody ever has to feel that. Like, I hope the anesthesiologist gets it to the right point and helps them if they need it. I don't know what happened or what was going on, but that was the worst. So I'm gonna make another video on like her, like updates, what's happened since she's now 2 weeks. So the last 2 weeks, what's been going on. And that's all that I can remember right now. So as usual, if you have any questions, make sure to comment them below. Thanks for watching.